Hello there, my name is Valerie White-Williams and I'm a voice teacher and a vocal coach for Vocal Splendor Studios. Today I'm doing another reaction, but this is the difference. This is my first time reacting to Abba Voyage, listening all the way through. I've been saving this to do a reaction for you guys with me. So let's have a listen. I'm going to be wearing my glasses so I can look at the lyrics, and I will be listening on my iPod with my speakers. So let's have a listen.
You're asleep on the couch with Tammy, and she looks straight up at me. The reproach in her eyes is imagined, but the pain that I feel is real. She jumps down and her tail is swishing like a feather right under your nose. And then you wake up and you're weary-eyed. I say I'm sorry, I can see you cry. You look frail as you stand before me, and you curse and kick a chair. And the dog, bless her heart, licks my fingers, but she jerks every time you swear. I feel sick.
This is a really interesting song. I was first getting into the lyrics. I thought, is this about an animal? Well, it seems like the animal is part of the song, but it's more about the fights. And I know that with Abba, they were two couples. And crazy that they toured the world together and then things didn't work out. So I wonder if that's kind of what the song is about. I mean, how could they not kind of relive some of their old pastime memories? I mean, it's just an amazing project to me, just getting back after 30 years. It's just unbelievable. So yeah, this is kind of interesting. And then they can kind of process all that pain and all the things. There's a lot to process in 30 years, a lot. All right, keep going.
You're not the man you should have been. I let you down somehow. Not the one I could have been. I'm not the woman I could have been. I can be that woman. I can be that woman now.
That's deep.
You're confused when you turn to face me. Is it true, or is she drunk? But it's clear that I've hit my rock bottom. I'm aware of how far I've sunk. And the dog is the first to feel
interesting. This one is really an interesting song. It starts with the dog, and it's dog's fault. But it actually goes into this kind of grief and just again looking from the past of the regrets. And it has this kind of like this country song. It kind of reminds me of John Denver, which is another artist that we miss from that 70s and 80s. But yeah, using the animal as a metaphor, and then how we both maybe needed to work and change. It's kind of angsty, but it also has that sense of hope, and that's what's really beautiful about this album. This sounds a bit more modern versus the other songs. Must be a song about a divorced family, that you're splitting up, you need to share childcare. I didn't expect this. This is kind of angsty. I mean, there's some angsty songs in this album, and I just didn't expect that. Well, I didn't know what to expect. And this one has a bit more modern sound to it. But yeah, I mean, they lived through a lot, so they can pull all of that in. So let's keep going.
Certain that I'm out of sight, I pull over and turn off the car, and I bang the wheel. I can't believe that I'm actually held it together is wrong. See how
on this song, I could hear some of the guys singing because you could hear in the very layered vocals, there was some of the male voices because this is about a divorce and sharing childcare. Whew, this is deeper than I thought.
He likes the lilacs in my garden. I love to watch him fly. He's just a tiny fuzzy ball, and I wonder how he can fly along.
Fuzzy ball. Okay, get
The
it.
world without him. I dread to think what that would be, and I imagine my distress. It would be a new kind of loneliness. But for now I'm in my garden, watching clouds sail with the breeze, feeling carefree as I listen to the hum of bumblebees.
I'm going to stop just a minute. This is almost like a folk song. I mean, it's like a theme of the summer and the summer breeze. There's a lot of, and again, the bells and all this orchestration that is usually not seen in pop rock albums. It's not. And it's almost like a choral arrangement could sing this.
It's quite absurd this summer morning to think we could be trapped inside the world where all is change, too fast for bumblebees to adapt. From fine to blue red, from hyacinth to lily rose, oh how I do adore the sight of his strong clumsy erratic flight. And for now I'm in my garden, watching clouds sail with the breeze, feeling carefree as I listen to the hum of bumblebees. Yes, for now I'm in my garden, watching clouds sail with the breeze, feeling sad for those who never hear the hum of bumblebees. Oh yes, for now I'm in my garden,
Nice harmony
watching
up there.
clouds sail with the breeze, feeling sad for those who never hear the hum of bumblebees.
Interesting. This has some kind of caring for the earth, like the bumblebees are going extinct for all the things, all the chemicals and all these things. So it's a very beautiful song, but almost like a call that we need to make changes. And of course, Swedes have always been really in tune with the earth. Again, I told you I'm second generation Swedish American, and I went to Sweden when I was a young teen. But they're always progressive about taking care of the earth. But it's a beautiful piece, but there's a bit of, again, darkness. Are we going to keep having those bumblebees around? I mean, it's kind of like this dance song, but it's about fighting couples. Yeah, this is a lot of autobiography from their relationships coming into this album. And the ones I heard before, that they let out as singles, but these songs, this is a way for them to kind of work through things. I think they married other people, but they're back as friends. And that's a huge testament by having all these breakups and all these things that they came back to make this album. It's really amazing. But yeah, it's like happy I'm fighting with somebody. And it just is the juxtaposition is a little odd. But the lyrics, that's why I wanted to make sure I heard the lyrics and saw them. No doubt about it, this isn't where it ends. Because, they're in their 70s now, I'm guessing. Maybe close to 80s. Lots of regret, lots of thinking, lots of time to consider. Maybe I'm the one that screwed it up. I'm the one, you're the one, But what's great is they came back. So, all right, so we're going to listen to the very last song. Very
truly worth remembering. I wish someone would write the note to freedom that we all could
Wow, that's it. I didn't know what to expect, but I got through it. I don't mean that in a bad way, but it kind of was different than what I expected. I mean, I didn't know what to expect because, 30 years to be away from each other and not work together. Yeah, there was a lot of, like I said, a lot of therapy, like a lot of them really getting through their issues, I know. And it looks like they have, and they were able to like make this music, because that's why music is so powerful, is through music and through songwriting you can like recover things. It's just magic. That's why everybody should do music. Now with this album, there wasn't even that much drums on it. It was very much orchestral in scope, I think. I mean, there was some of the dance, like the dance on, which was like, that was really interesting too. Some of the more, this is personal. This is some personal things that they put in here. And it was a way they could kind of like work it through, because they were the top of the world. And it was like, say, the early 80s, mid 80s. They were one of the most popular bands of all time. And then it's over. So and then they went in different directions. So, Benny and Bjorn, they actually moved to Broadway and did like chess. I mean, they're such good songwriters. And obviously they're really good at orchestration, because there's a lot of acoustic instruments. I didn't really hear very much modern sounds, because that's what they do. They're ABBA. And that last ode to freedom, it reminded me of some orchestral interludes in operas. I mean, just this grand scope of the orchestras and the feeling. There's a lot of depth. Now, here's the thing about really great music. You can only listen to it so much in the first listen, and then you have to listen to it again, because that's usually what is a sign of a great album. Sometimes you have an album, you're like, wow, I love it, I can dance to it. But an album like this, there's a lot of depth in here. There's a lot of angst, a lot of working through things. And some dance songs which are kind of angsty, like the fights of, someone was drunk and I made mistakes. There's a lot of regret in this album. But what a beautiful way to take all that angst and therapy and getting back together, on a friend level, to make it better. And realize people make mistakes and people have regret. And let's make music about it. Let's make some music that helps us all feel better. And then the people that listen. The thing that's so interesting about music, when you really pour your heart and soul into something, it's so personal. But as someone said, the more personal you throw it out, it's more universal for everybody to go, yeah, I felt this way. I've experienced that. And it's hard. Some of it feels very private, but we're human. And even if you haven't experienced that, someone else who has. We've all been, whether you've divorced or separated, we've all been through things. And that's what this music represents. And even it ends in a little uneasy way. Like, we're going to try, but we're not there yet. We're not there yet. The song with the bumblebee also, it's kind of like we're coming together and we're getting through this, and it's great. They had to do a lot of forgiving to get to that point and to make music. And so, yeah, I'm kind of talking about the emotional and the storytelling, but the music is, of course, top notch, because Benny and Bjorn, if you don't know, means bear in Sweden, is Swedish. So they call his son Bear. But they are master songwriters, and they're also master arrangers, and kind of the arrangement that we don't hear in contemporary music right now. A lot of beats, really heavy beats, but not these counter melodies and interludes, and mostly acoustic instruments. That's used to be how all kind of music was. We had a lot of that. It wasn't always about the singer or the rapper or whatever. Now, I'm not saying I don't like singing, and of course I really, really enjoy really great rapping, but this has this kind of old school vibe, which is lovely. It makes me want to listen to it again and just kind of see what else comes up, because usually great music, you listen to it in layers, and then you hear and see and feel other things as it comes out. That's what great art is. It's not forgettable. It's not what I call McMusic, because there's a lot of McMusic that has been made because it's quick and easy and it's a hit, and then it's forgettable. This is not going to be forgettable. This is a lot of emotional things in here, and the lyrics were not exactly easy, and the rhythms were the rhythm languages was really kind of interesting as well. And the voices, now most of it was Annie Fried, and I know that she's the one who's kept her voice, well, she's had the voice that's really more solid, where Agnita, I think I'm saying it right, it's been a long album, but you could hear those harmonies. She always sang that higher part. They did a lot of unison, but Annie Fried's voice is solid, super solid. It has even more depth. She always had that richer tone, but it was a great experience. And hopefully my listening face didn't look too serious, because that's what happens sometimes. But I really wanted to dig into it and really feel it and really see the lyrics, so I could just have that whole experience. And it's kind of melancholy, I have to say. It's kind of got that melancholy. There's a lot of regret. And I think what this album can help people make amends before you do something you regret, because I can sense that regret with them. And you can't go back in time. So you need to be really clear. And it's a beautiful testament of people that made up. The story, like in the song, our story isn't over, because now they're back together as friends. And that's what we all hope with our partners, that we're at least friends. And hopefully that friendship can sustain. And don't do things harshly. Don't just like screw something over and then you're like, oh, I broke it. Yeah. So again, it's very melancholy and beautiful. And I'm just so impressed with all the orchestration, counter melodies. What a counter melody is that it's a melody that lays on top of another melody. And that used to be really common. Even some of the, Elton John's earlier albums, and, that era where a lot of craftsmanship came into the music world. We don't always have it right now. We do some of it, but this is an interesting album, and I look forward to listening to it again. So, and this is my first time reacting to a whole album. I hope I don't get copyrighted. It's really frustrating when you're a reactor, where you put in so much time and then you can't do it. Because I actually had an amazing reaction to Coldplay, Fix You in Brazil. It was gorgeous performance, and it got blocked. And then I tried to put a picture over it, without the video, and it got blocked again, and I just went 4 hours down the drain. And it was it was so powerful. I loved it so much. But unfortunately, it's just hanging out on my computer for now, unfortunately. Although, yeah. So that's what it is. So you ABBA fans, I hope you really enjoyed this. And I don't know if they're going to make another album. Maybe they will, maybe they won't, but at least we have this one. So if you love ABBA as much as I do, make sure you subscribe and click on the bell so you get all notified of all of my uploads. And yeah, this was long. I had to really make sure I could do it, but I'm glad I did. And again, I'll see you next time. I'm not going to even give you my speeches at the end. I'm just going to say bye, and I'll see you next time. Bye.